As this journey ends, so another begins. I'd like you to watch over him on his path for a little longer yet. 1 year has passed since the arrival of the new king.
Hey, heard the news? They're finally reopening that mage academy that got closed down.
You don't say. The famous one deep in the Montario Mountains.
They've even paved a proper mountain road. And get this, their headmistress is none other than Lady Juno.
What?
Well, she is one of the king's 6 partisans. If she managed to help save the world from Luis, I expect she knows a thing or two about magic. Sounds like they plan to fully open the magic researchers' findings to the people, too.
Makes sense to me. After the clash between His Majesty and Luis last year.
And that's just today's news. Even the Royal Knights. Their leadership was bound to the church more than anything. And now he's out on his ear, too. And replaced by Sir Jaime Noctul, no less. You believe that? The Royal Knights, led by a Ujif, of all things. Though he's one of the 6 partisans himself.
Even Parliament now invites citizen representatives to hearings. It's unbelievable, compared to the days of the autocrats.
Credit where it's due. I think it's thanks to His young majesty. Remember last year's coronation? Unprecedented, that. Saw heroes of all different tribes celebrating the king's victory. Celebrating among the common folk, even. They tell me some of the younger aristocrats have taken to calling it the Great Reconciliation. It really is a tragedy, what happened to his father, the king. But considering how his sons turned out, I hope he's at peace.
Indeed. Yet the real test is still to come. The first year has seen a lot of good, but we've still got our share of problems.
Speaking of His Majesty, I've also heard some folks saying they've seen a boy wandering around these parts who looks just like him.
Ah, can't be.
Suppose you're right.
Mountains upon mountains of appeals from the people. How many days will this take to sort?
After all the trouble you took to flee politics. And somehow you're now the preeminent ladyship of your house. Such is fate.
Despite everything, this year has passed in surprising peace, hasn't it? Honestly, with the royal scepter disappearing like that, I feared more dissent.
Perhaps after Luis, they swore they could never let that happen again. Either way, more and more are dealing with conflicts calmly and openly. Promising.
It promises that I'll have an eternally cluttered desk.
Here, Your Majesty. I've brought in the next load. And there we go. Not half bad, right? Hey! Isn't the king supposed to be here?
When did he? I've said countless times not to leave unannounced.
Oh, all this decoration doesn't suit me. How'd Luis and Forden put up with all this damn finery? Your Majesty? Are you here? Juno's back from her inspection.
Apologies, Troll. I'll look for him now.
Wait! I'm coming with you!
Oh, good grief. Some things never change. Not that they should.
I'd say life has changed plenty for us. Yet somehow our captain's same as he ever was.
And then, well, I might have got a bit too fresh with them stuck-up scientists. but those bloody church folk been looking down on us for years, you know? Still, it was other sanctus what stepped in to keep things peaceable too. Guess me cogs turning. Not like it excuses all of them or makes me want to go up and shake a sanctor's hand, but you really put some perspective on it.
It was good talking to you, too.
You know what, lad? You're all right.
I should have known you'd be wandering around without your escorts again. How is it, being able to hear the city's honest thoughts? If you told them you're the king, it'd knock them sideways. Sorry you ended up coming all this way. Maria's actually out on an errand right now.
And I suppose I'll wait until she comes back.
You sure? That girl always ends up on detours. No telling how long she'll be. Either way, let's keep your head down. You know what happens when you're too obvious about this. Sooner or later, the Lady Captain of the Royal Guard...
Oh, there you are! I knew we'd find you here, for crying out loud!
Phew. So you were here.
Speak of the devil.
Let us return, Your Majesty. And I thought I had informed you that Juno would be back from her expedition today.
I have a few stops left in the city, though.
You do know I practically sprinted out the gates to find you. 'Tis settled. I shall come with you on every excursion.
Not dressed like that, you won't.
Point taken.
He'll be fine. His Majesty is not about to fall prey to some alleyway scoundrel, surely. Right, Your Majesty. If you see Maria about, do slow down for a chat. She'll be shattered if she finds out she just missed you.
Fine. Now, Your Majesty, once your business here is finished, please make sure you return to the palace with all swiftness.
All right.
Let's go! Hey?
You're not serious.
What now? All right, then. All right, then.
This place has really changed.
Well, I sure don't want to go back to the old kingdom.
All very nice. All very nice.
Boy, there! All right, then.
Say there.
Stupendous.
All right, then.
Stupendous.
All right, then.
Hiya.
You there.
Aha!
Grand, isn't it?
Ah, wonderful.
That reminds me.
That's right.
Hello there. Oh, right. I suppose now I should call you Your Majesty. You know, even through all that mess, everyone's really been working hard.
You think this country's gotten any better since then?
Well, seems like everyone's having more fun than before. I'm sure Papa's happy too.
That's good. Hearing that from you really lifts my heart.
Don't worry. I'll try to do my part with what I've got. I don't know what I can do yet, but I'll look for it. I want to do my best, just like everyone else in the city's doing. Still, it's not really enough for one person to do their best. We all have to believe that we can change, don't we? Otherwise, things will just go back to the way they were.
I'd say our future is bright indeed.
Everyone!
Long time no see. How have you been?
As we find ourselves afield, I thought I might visit Alsace myself.
Hold on a tick. Those people there. Surely not.
Naturally, we're drawing attention. We didn't all have to go at once.
Needn't fuss, old thing. It's been too long since we were all together again anyway.
Lady Tuna, did she really come all this way in a runner? Could have asked His Majesty to pop over and bring you back with a teleport or two.
The unmitigated nerve.
Oh, it's fine. I wanted to take in our country as it is. It's definitely a little rougher outside the capital's walls. There's still traces of melancholia around, and the odd human roaming about.
We're sending soldiers out for every incident we can. But it's not easy to hear the voice of the people from more distant regions.
I guess it's obvious. But just because you're king now doesn't make you suddenly all-seeing.
A lesson I learned last year. In the end, I was blind to a great deal of this world. Never would have learned if I hadn't pushed out the door and seen it with my own eyes.
A year ago, I would have just said we could fly over ourselves. I mean, let's be real. The capital isn't going to fall apart if we just sneak over for a little tour, is it?
Of course not. We specifically put precautions in place to keep things running.
Yet it has only been 1 year. We cannot be too complacent too soon, lest the dissidents seize on the opportunity.
Oh, there he is! Over there! See? I told you, that's His Majesty, innit?
Might have been a bit too obvious.
Oi there, Your Majesty!
You dare hoy the king? You swine!
Steady on, Hulkenberg, calm. You needn't draw steel on the poor fellow. We're the ones who indulged in this little day trip.
Your Majesty, thanks for all you do, really. Have to say, my life's a lot easier now.
There's more work to do every day. But we're in this together. We believe in you.
Everyone's so supportive. Kind of brings back memories from last year.
Rather. It's the sort of thing to get a chap all misty-eyed over the past. What a journey it was.
Looks like we're drawing a crowd. Time to get back to work.
Indeed. A veritable mountain of tasks awaits us, and I will see it crested.
And not long after, the new year dawned.
journey? Are you really planning on leaving us?
I won't force you to come. I'm fine going alone.
I already told you. I'll follow you wherever you go.
Sounds like fun, but a daily jaunt down to the slums is one thing, and a proper journey is quite another. You're a king now, lad. You've got the people's expectations on your shoulders. It's all right to just sit on your throne and mind the home front, you know?
I don't care to be kingly.
You're not even concerned?
Ever the fearless gadabout, eh? Magla and the humans make a fine barometer for the anxiety still swirling in the country. If people can't face their anxieties, they can't keep their eyes forward. And if they can't do that, we'll have a bally hard time moving forward as a nation or a people. Do you want to get a better grasp of it all? That's your most important duty as a ruler. That's what you're thinking, eh?
Right.
If that was your plan, you could have just said so.
Sounds like a fine idea to me. A proper spot of fun, besides. Wouldn't expect any less from our king and captain. Well, since I'm the bally court engineer, I've no choice but to come along. Yes, here begins our quest anew. Let us sally forth upon our... hello? Are you...
Sire, you've really got to stop chasing these ideas all on your own. You'll be the death of us.
Once again, sire, I've asked you countless times to give word if you're to leave the castle.
Nurse, don't tell me you called for them beforehand.
Saved us a bit of time, eh? Though, hello, what's this? I count only 2 of the 6 partisans.
For my part, I believe 'tis unrealistic for all of us to depart the capital together.
Oh, so you have no plans to stop our little adventure, eh?
Hulkenberg and I talked it over. We decided that if you insist on going, we'd rather go with you than stop you.
Are you sure about this?
I was thinking back to our last fight with Luis. So many people supported us, but not for any high-minded ideals or arguments.
They were supporting us because we were actively fighting a monster on their behalf. In the end, people make choices based on their personal experience and emotion. Even if decided justly and supported by prosperity, people may struggle to trust a king whose face they do not know.
Right. I'm not opposed to the idea of getting out into the world again. Really, it might be the wisest move to make sure you're a king everyone knows.
Still, this early into the new year? 'Tis never a dull moment in your Majesty's employ.
Bit of a smaller party than we last set out with, huh? But it's a pleasure to be on the road again with you.
Okay, but can we really afford to have both our general and the Royal Guard's captain coming along for this?
'Tis natural course for the Royal Guard to accompany the king. And I trust my corps is not so feeble that it will fall apart in my absence.
We'll make it work. Got to learn to trust others and delegate, right?
Thank you.
You once heard my voice and answered a query in kind. Is fantasy a powerless creation? That timeless question. So long as life remains in the world, we seekers all shall search for our answer. But he will find his. Of that I am certain. And it is thanks to you for believing in and guiding him. That was the true purpose of my royal magic, you know. To seek and obtain guidance from denizens of a land beyond ours. A land that has not yet lost hope. And it was you who answered the call. Armed with your hope, armed with the power of fantasy, you have my sincerest thanks.
Feels familiar. It's been far too long.
Aye, the wind feels an echo of days past.
Unusually poetic for you.
They're awful
awful, aren't they? They would have left us behind. Oh.
Well, I'm not certain we're in a position to talk, having followed straight after, saying we could just teleport back.
Well, hey, we figured the kids might want to change your scenery, like.
Wow! Amazing!
Poetic indeed. That the scepter's absence restored order to Magla, and even greenery to the sands.
I'll say, I definitely like this view better.
Let's go.
Dear guest, from a world I shall never know. In your eyes, I know our journey was ultimately a fiction. However, I hope your memories of this fantastical adventure burn as bright in your reality. I hope the promise of our world echoes in you.